Good morning, traders. Manny Cabrera here, co founder of NBC Trading Academy, with today's pre market forecast for Monday, April the 27th. And we're going to give a preview to our trading week. As usual, let's begin with our news items on the docket for this morning. It looks like a really busy week, although no reports on the docket for today. We are pretty much loaded with reports that are very significant towards the economy. I think this is the second wave of reports where we're going to see the actual damage caused by the economic shutdown based on the coronavirus. Although we're beginning to see earlier this morning, all of the news programs are talking about states reopening partially certain sections and sectors of their economy. It's reflected in the market. We're going to see that in a moment, but slowly but surely, you're going to start seeing the bad economic reports. This is something that's already happened. So that's why Wall Street and F market seem to already have discounted this. The huge drop from March 23rd was pretty much the one that was saying, look, things are going to get really bad. And I think that drop was the precipitous drop that we had was the one indicating that that's how we're interpreting the damage in the market. So expect to see some pretty bad news coming up, including the unemployment claims. We're still expecting over 3 million, which is not good. Chicago PMI is expected to be lower, so is manufacturing PMI. Federal fund rates, of course, is going to be negative once again. And of course, we have the FOMC statement as of Wednesday at 2 p.m. So keep your eyes open for this. Loaded is also the beginning of earnings seasons in the market. So you're going to get a lot of bad news there. So again, unless you're happen to be an industry who is in the midst of this shutdown is doing well, some of the retailers, so on and so forth, then it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse before it starts to look better. So, with all that being said, let's look at what the market is saying to us this morning, because ultimately this is what happens here. As technical traders, we discount a lot of the information. As the market continues to impress me, to be honest with you, with the resiliences that it has, it continues to show technical strength, breaking through the 20 SMA, breaking through the 50. Now it seems to be holding. It broke above it on Friday. It seems to be holding above it this morning. We're expecting a little bit move up. And as I mentioned, this is the big test for the market. The next real big test for the market is going to be right here. When it gets to this 8200 SMA crossover right here. This blue line here, the blue light special, that's the 200 SMA. That's the one that's going to be the next test. Any break above it, any break above it, any hold above it, I'm expecting market to rally. So that's what it is. Market, of course, volume has been tailoring off just a bit. We're at 1.7. The ATR is leveling off as well. We're at 118 as opposed to where we were several weeks ago. So the market seems to be getting back into its old pattern. I do enjoy the volume though, because it's offering multiple opportunities. But other than that, it's business as usual for the market so far. So again, we're not out of the woods. I am not saying we're out of the woods. I am not saying we cannot drop any further. All I'm saying is right now, we can only trade what we have in front of us. And technically, the market is showing strength to the upside as it stands right now. So let's look at our daily charts today so we can start developing our hypothesis of where we're going. Now, remember, on Friday, I drew this compression here. It says the market was compressing, and I drew these lines here telling you, here's the potential outcomes of the market. Potentially it can go lower or higher. Now, obviously, you don't need to be a rocket scientist to understand that it's either going to go lower or higher. That's not the point. The point is once the market starts to move in a certain direction, that's when you start looking at your plan. So what do we have here? Here are our potential next areas of support and resistance. On the way up, can we come back here and use what used to be a former downtrend line as support and then move higher? Absolutely. There is no doubt that we can do that. So you can see some short-term movement. But remember, the market is not interpreting this as bad news if the market came to retrace here. It's just looking for a deeper support in order to move higher. That's what it's been doing since it started to rally back in March 23rd. So keep your eyes open for these particular levels here if the market decides to go there. But on a shorter time frame, which is what we trade, a shorter time frame, this is what we look like. That's the break. This is the close of Friday. Here's our high, our intraday high established on Friday. Market, of course, rallying from the low. It created the intraday low really early in the morning, about 11 in the morning, and it rallied all the way to create the high, came off the high, kind of consolidated for a little bit there, created a gap, which of course it came back and filled, broke through the intraday high of Friday, and here we find ourselves in this particular compression here. Now we do have a trend line, a trend line to the downside here. That is our ceiling right now as the market breaks through this particular one. Now, market breaks here. We have potential areas where the market come down and retest before it moves higher. And obviously, the big break would be if it breaks through here, the next test would be right here. But other than that, as long as the market remains below this line here, we're expecting the market to respect this line and continue to try to consolidate just a bit as this is sort of turning into a compression triangle to the downside. You see here is our downtrend line. Here's our support. Our clear support is the intraday high of Friday. So we're expecting a little move lower before we start deciding what we're going to do. So keep your eyes open for that. Now, the market can clearly come here, retest this area, break the area, continue to the upside. Well, that's a possibility. But as it stands right now, this is our north-south line. So any activity above this line is long activity. Anything below here is short. Now, we can run, of course, we can run lower, bounce, and then begin to rally to the upside. So we have the market running in both directions. Just make sure you wait for the confirmation. Have a great trading session. Let me know if you have any questions.